Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be printing, building and painting a Stargrave crew from Imitation of Life Miniatures.
Gruffy Crow.
So Imitation of Life Miniatures first came to my attention because Sonny, the guy who sculpts them, has been doing some of the digital sculpting for the Dunkeldorf range. I think all the digital sculpting for the Dunkeldorf range. Some really nice stuff. And I actually watched him do some stuff live. It's very interesting, fascinating the way he moved the shapes around and tightened them up. Anyway, so yeah, caught my attention and I really like the look of this pirate crew. And then I signed up to the Patreon and got the Bounty Hunter. And then I thought, actually, these guys will make an excellent crew for Stargrave. I also picked up a few more bits and pieces off the My Mini Factory store, such as this guy called the Outrunner. It's an absolutely beautiful sculpt. So between those bits and pieces, the Space Pirate crew and the Raiders, I had more than enough to get started. Okay, and here are all the parts fresh off the printer. All I've done so far is just sort of peel them off the supports. I'm really impressed with the new resin. It's picked up just a phenomenal amount of detail. Here is a miniature. It's not going to be part of this crew. This is a free mini. Can't remember where I got it from though. Now I'm going to be putting these guys on clear bases, like this little robot for my Stargrave stuff, because I quite like those for the sort of sci-fi things, because it just blends into any old base, any old background. So yeah, obviously I can't paint them on these like I normally would. And that is where this array of old rum corks come in. I do prefer these for painting because they've just got the wider bottoms and they're nice and flat, whereas the sort of champagne corks that I use for sculpting don't have as flat bottoms. They're a little bit more sort of top heavy when by the time you put a mini on. Shouldn't matter as much with these guys, with them being resin, they're obviously very light. This is the Outrunner. Once again, I'm actually really impressed, A, with the sculpt, but also with the amount of detail we managed to capture right now. Anyone who says that 3D printers aren't ready for minis, you know, it's wrong. So I'm going to go around, I'm just going to try and spot any, obviously there's no mould lines to grab, but there might be a few little support. Here we go, just on his bum here, that there's a little leftover bit of support. Just gonna carefully remove. So I'll go around and I'll get anything like that cleared up, and then I will just drill a little hole in his foot and pin him onto this cork. I won't glue it onto the cork, I'll just pin it through. There's a couple of ones that need assembling, so these guys are all one piece, and then we've got the awesome multi-part Bounty Hunter here. Yeah, these are fantastic. Look at the ropes on his neck. Really impressed with the way these have come out. Okay, here they all are on their corks. So I've got one for each of them. It'll make them a lot easier to paint since they can't go on their bases yet. Okay, here is the core crew, and they've had their undercoat now. This is the Halford's grey primer that I like. Very light dusting, so obviously you don't need a lot of coverage over the resin. Just enough to give a very fine layer. Still really impressed with the way these have come out and the level of detail on them. And then over here we've got a couple of conversions. So this guy was holding a big sort of machete thing, sort of halberd, and I've used some of the guns off the Bounty Hunter kit. So from this guy, and just pop them on where his halberd would attach. I think he looks suitably cool. And then another conversion, this one was a little bit more involved, once again using parts from the Bounty Hunter kit. So this is his arm, one of the same guns from here but with the robot hand. That's the Bounty Hunter's backpack, and that is one of the heads from the Bounty Hunter kit, all applied to one of the Raiders from the welcome pack. A little bit of green stuff was required, and I've not quite covered that with spray there. Oh, I've also, after my first game, started on a drone. As you can see, I've started putting some paint down on this guy, but then he fell off his cork, so I didn't even finish the first layer. but this is using bits from the Rekabot, the Rekabot in the Patreon sort of welcome pack and the one on the website from the that you can get on my mini factory separately, or yeah, I got it on the Patreon. And once again, we've got Bounty Hunter arms and one of the guns from there, and the Rekabot parts, which would usually be more this sort of scale, have obviously been shrunk down. I can't remember by how much actually, but to make him into a more sort of drone proportion. This is another cool model from from Imitation of Life. As you can see, he's got some pretty cool scale to him, and I built him up with the little square head and big hands because it reminded me of MechQuake from 2000 AD, so I thought it was a cool little homage, and I'll get some paint on him eventually. So yeah, now the painting's going to begin. I already started. Getting pretty happy with the way this girl's turned out. I'm going to call her Tutti Frutti, I think. So the core colours that I'm going to follow through are going to be this bootstrap leather for a lot of the leather work. I'm going to use the same sort of metal tones across the force, and also the red, the rich red. I'm going to try and follow across a few of the models to try and tie them together while still making them look fairly ragtag. I'm not sure, once again, what role she's going to be. Probably just a runner or a recruit. I mean, she's holding a rifle, which would sort of translate to a carbine rather than a pistol, probably. But I'm sure she'll find her home. And if not, she was a good little test piece to get used to painting this style of sculpt. I've also been having to think about how I'm going to paint these guys. So this guy with the double pistols, I think I'm going to do him green with a blue tongue. Give him a bit of a lizard look, maybe use that big eye. Give it a bit of a, reptile style to him. And this lady here, I think I'm going to paint her blue with a sort of white hair. Give her that sort of Andorian or Smurf look. I think that could work quite well. So the lineup of the crew's changed a few times, but one of the things that I have kept in is the two dogs. So I've only just got these printed and undercoated, and I think they look really nice. They're everything I want out of a Cyberdog. And because they're the same sculptor, there's something about them that really makes them fit in with the rest of the crowd. Probably going to give them a pretty basic colour scheme, mostly just dark metals and red panels, I think. Something a bit like that. I think they look really nice. As I said, super simple paint job, but quite effective, I think. And I've also painted the rest of a functioning crew now. So we've got my captain. I tried to do like a bandana pattern on this little bit of fabric. We've got my first mate. And then a gunfighter. And then we have two more specialists, the case cracker, this guy, and a code breaker. Now she was going to be a hacker, but because she's got the rifle rather than a pistol, it means she's more suited to being a code breaker. I haven't quite finished because this is going to be my gunner to make up the rest of the initial force, but it's the only one I haven't painted from the main list. And then we've got the two dogs, the Outrunner, who is going to be a hacker. I think it's pretty cool. And then we've got this guy who's another conversion from the sort of little Blood Bowl model. But out of all the versions of this model I've been trying to paint recently, this is the first one I feel I really did justice. So he has a pistol and a hand weapon, so he's a recruit or possibly a runner. We've also got this drone, and I had a little bit of cotton wool as a little jet to hide the wire that's holding him up. We've got the pack mule type character, though obviously he's not in my initial list. And then we've got another sort of recruit or runner, one of the free things in case this one dies. In the short term I could sub one of these in to the main crew, and then we've got a full set of 10 to start playing. And seeing them all laid up in front of me like this, I think they make a really nice crew. The fact that they're all by the same sculptor obviously helps sort of tie them together, but I've also added the red on all of them to try and close it together as well. As I've mentioned before, I'm probably going to change my first mate from this model to this one and have her as like a psyker. But once again, I've not painted that one, so I've got these two to paint. I've also got these two to paint because I kind of started from scratch with them a bit because I realised I damaged one of the pipes on the back of this one on the original print, so I just knocked another one out. And this girl used to hold 2 pistols, and now she is holding a shotgun and a hand weapon, which means I can use these as a trooper and a sentry, or whichever way around, whichever one's got a hand weapon. So I've still got plenty of painting to do on this project, but that's good because I've really been enjoying painting these. It's a big change from the rest of what I've been painting recently. So yeah, like I said, now all I need to do is get these guys out on the table in a game of Stargrave. And that's all for this video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments, maybe subscribe for more, and as ever, thanks for watching, bye!